What if I told you that the universe has been trying to help you become wealthy for years, but you keep overlooking the signs? Not because you are unlucky, not because abundance isn't meant for you, not because other people are somehow more deserving, but because the messages arriving in your life have been disguised as challenges, coincidences, delays, and unexpected opportunities. Think about that for a moment. How many times have you felt stuck financially? How many nights have you stared at the ceiling wondering whether things will ever get easier? How many times have you watched other people succeed and quietly asked yourself, when will it be my turn? If you've been carrying that question in your heart, stay with me, because today we are going to explore a powerful truth found within spiritual teachings, mindfulness practices, and timeless wisdom traditions. Abundance often arrives quietly before it arrives visibly. And if you learn how to recognize the signals, your relationship with money, opportunity, and prosperity may never be the same again. Before we begin, I want you to type this affirmation in the comments. I am open to receiving abundance. Write it now, not because a comment magically changes your life, but because every transformation begins with a declaration. Now let's begin. Imagine a farmer standing in an empty field. The soil looks barren. There are no crops, no visible signs of success, no evidence that abundance is coming. To an impatient observer, the field appears lifeless. But beneath the surface, seeds are already working. Roots are already forming. Life is already moving. This is exactly how abundance operates in many people's lives. The problem is that most people judge their future based on what they can currently see. The universe, however, works beneath the surface long before results appear. Ancient Buddhist teachings often remind us that attachment to immediate outcomes creates suffering. We want instant proof, instant money, instant success, instant certainty. But nature rarely works that way. The bamboo tree spends years developing roots underground before shooting upward with astonishing speed. To someone who doesn't understand the process, the growth seems sudden. In reality, it was being prepared all along. Could the same be happening in your life right now? Could the opportunities you seek already be developing beneath the surface? Could the delays that frustrate you actually be preparing you? Many people assume wealth begins with money. Spiritual wisdom suggests something different. Wealth begins with awareness. Before abundance enters your bank account, it often enters your consciousness. You start noticing possibilities. You become curious. You encounter new ideas. You meet unexpected people. You feel pulled towards certain opportunities. These subtle shifts are often the first signs, but because they don't look dramatic, most people ignore them. The universe whispers before it shouts, and the whisper usually sounds like intuition. Have you ever had a strong feeling telling you to call someone, learn a skill, start a project, apply for an opportunity, or change a habit? That inner nudge may be more important than you realize. Many people wait for certainty before taking action, but certainty usually comes after movement, not before it. Think about the moments that changed your life. Did they arrive with complete guarantees, or did they begin with a feeling, a possibility, or a small decision? The spiritual path of abundance teaches us that intuition is often the bridge between potential and reality. When you repeatedly ignore that bridge, opportunities pass unnoticed. This doesn't mean every impulse is a cosmic message. It means cultivating awareness, so you can distinguish fear from guidance. And that brings us to one of the greatest obstacles to abundance: scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking tells you there isn't enough, not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough success, not enough resources, not enough time. Scarcity whispers that someone else's success reduces your chances. Abundance understands something entirely different. Abundance recognizes that value can be created. Opportunities can be developed. Skills can be learned. Relationships can be built. Growth can be expanded. The Buddhist principle of mindfulness helps us see reality clearly. And when we see clearly, we notice how often fear distorts our perception. Fear tells you to stay where you are. Growth invites you forward. Fear focuses on loss. Abundance focuses on possibility. Fear shrinks your world. Awareness expands it. The universe cannot force abundance into your life. It can only present doors you must choose to walk through them. Perhaps one of those doors has already appeared. Maybe it came disguised as a challenge, a rejection, a difficult lesson, or an uncomfortable transition. Many of the world's most successful people discovered opportunities hidden inside moments they initially resisted. At first, they saw problems. Later, they recognized preparation. What if the situation currently frustrating you is actually redirecting you? What if what feels like a setback is creating space for something greater? These questions matter because your interpretation shapes your experience. Two people can encounter the same obstacle. One sees proof of limitation while the other sees a lesson. One quits while the other adapts. One closes while the other grows. Which person do you think attracts more opportunities over time? The universe responds powerfully to attention. Whatever you consistently focus on becomes more visible. If you constantly focus on lack, your mind becomes trained to notice lack. If you focus on possibilities, your awareness begins identifying opportunities. This isn't magic, it's perception. And perception influences action. Action influences results. Results influence momentum. Momentum changes lives. Now, I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself walking through a beautiful path surrounded by golden light. The air feels peaceful. The weight of financial stress begins lifting from your shoulders. Ahead of you stands a door. On that door is written one word: abundance. As you move closer, notice something important. The door is not locked. It never was. You place your hand on the handle. You open it. Inside, you don't find piles of money. You find confidence, clarity, wisdom, courage, discipline, creativity, and gratitude. Because these are the qualities that generate sustainable wealth. As you step into that room, silently repeat, I am worthy of abundance. I am open to opportunity. I trust myself to grow. I recognize the signs around me. I welcome prosperity with gratitude. Take a deep breath and remember those words. Because abundance is not simply about receiving. It is about becoming. The person who can create, manage, and multiply opportunities. The universe often begins transforming your identity before transforming your circumstances. When your mindset changes, your choices change. When your choices change, your direction changes. And when your direction changes, your future changes. This realization marks the beginning of a powerful shift, but recognizing the signs is only the first step. The next step is learning how to cooperate with abundance instead of resisting it. Now that you understand that abundance often arrives through subtle signals, let's explore how to actively align yourself with it. The first principle is gratitude. The second principle is mindful action. The third principle is generosity. The fourth principle is trust. The fifth principle is emotional alignment. These principles create the foundation upon which abundance grows. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You are calmer, more confident, more focused. You have developed new skills, created better habits, and strengthened your mindset. You walk with quiet certainty, not because life became perfect, but because you learned to trust your ability to navigate challenges. Notice the confidence. Notice the peace. Notice the gratitude. Now imagine that future version of you, placing a hand on your shoulder and saying, keep going. Do not quit. You are closer than you think. Continue learning. Continue growing. Continue believing. How would it feel to hear those words? What would change if you truly accepted them? The journey toward abundance is not about becoming someone else. It is about uncovering the potential already within you. The universe does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present, aware, open, willing, and consistent. Every day you choose growth over fear, you strengthen your foundation. Every day you choose gratitude over resentment, you strengthen your awareness. Every day you choose action over hesitation, you strengthen your future. This is how abundance grows, not through one dramatic moment, but through countless small decisions made with intention. As you continue on this journey, there is something important you must understand. Many people believe abundance begins the moment money appears in their lives, but spiritual wisdom teaches a different lesson. Abundance often begins the moment you stop arguing with your own potential. How many dreams have you delayed because you didn't feel ready? How many opportunities have you ignored because fear convinced you that success belonged to someone else? How many times have you talked yourself out of something beautiful before life even had a chance to respond? Imagine trying to drive a car while pressing the accelerator and the brake at the same time. That is exactly what happens when your desires and beliefs move in opposite directions. Part of you wants growth. Part of you fears it. Part of you wants freedom. Part of you doubts it. The universe responds most powerfully when your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin moving in the same direction. The ancient masters often compared the human mind to a garden. Whatever you repeatedly plant eventually grows. If you plant worry every day, worry becomes stronger. If you plant gratitude every day, gratitude becomes stronger. If you plant courage every day, courage becomes stronger. And if you plant abundance-focused thoughts every day, your awareness begins finding opportunities that were invisible before. The universe often rewards movement, not perfect. Movement, not guaranteed movement, just movement. One conversation can change your direction. One book can change your perspective. One decision can change your future. One moment of courage can open a door that remained closed for years. Maybe this video is the sign you have been waiting for. Maybe this moment is the reminder. Maybe the universe is already saying, trust yourself enough to take the next step. Not the entire journey, just the next step. Because transformation happens gradually, quietly, and powerfully. True abundance is not simply about what you possess, it is about what you embody. The goal is not merely to accumulate, the goal is to expand your awareness, wisdom, ability to create value, and capacity to receive. When these qualities grow, external prosperity often follows naturally. So remember this: you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disconnected from abundance. The same force that grows forests, guides rivers, and turns tiny seeds into mighty trees is still working within your life. Trust the process. Trust your growth. Trust the lessons. Trust the timing. Most importantly, trust the potential that already exists inside you. Because the universe is not trying to keep abundance away from you. It may be trying to teach you how to recognize it. And once you do, everything begins to change. There is a powerful reason why some people seem to recognize opportunities everywhere they go while others walk past the same opportunities without ever noticing them. The difference is not luck. The difference is awareness. Most people spend their lives looking at the world through the lens of what is missing. They focus on what they lack, what they lost, what they fear, and what might go wrong. Over time, the mind becomes trained to search for evidence that confirms those beliefs. If you believe opportunities are rare, your mind will constantly find proof that opportunities are rare. If you believe success belongs to other people, your mind will continue collecting evidence that supports that story. But what happens when you begin changing the story? What happens when you wake up each morning and deliberately train your attention toward possibility? At first, nothing may seem different. The same room, the same job, the same bank account, the same circumstances, yet something important begins shifting within you. You start noticing ideas that you ignored before. You start hearing wisdom hidden inside everyday conversations. You begin recognizing possibilities where you once saw obstacles. This is one of the greatest secrets of abundance. The external world may not change immediately, but your perception changes first. And perception creates action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Many spiritual teachers describe abundance as a river. A river does not force its way. Forward through resistance, it flows, it adapts. It moves around obstacles while continuing toward its destination. What would happen if you approached life in the same way? Instead of fighting every challenge, what if you learned from it? Instead of resisting every change, what if you adapted to it? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? What if you asked, what is this teaching me? That single question can transform your entire perspective because every experience contains information. Every setback contains wisdom. Every challenge contains growth, and every season of uncertainty contains lessons that can prepare you for greater abundance. The universe often teaches through experience rather than explanation. Sometimes the lesson arrives before the reward. Sometimes the growth arrives before the opportunity. Sometimes the preparation arrives before the prosperity. The question is whether you are willing to learn. While the process unfolds, take a moment and think about the biggest challenge you have ever overcome. At the time, it may have felt unbearable. At the time, it may have seemed unfair, but looking back now, can you see how it shaped you? Can you see how it made you stronger? Can you see how it taught you something valuable? The same may be true for the challenge you are facing today. Perhaps this moment is not blocking your path. Perhaps it is building your path, and perhaps the abundance you seek is closer than you realize, not because everything is perfect, but because you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared with every step you take. Before we finish this journey together, there is one final truth that deserves your attention. The universe can present opportunities. Life can provide lessons. Wisdom can point the way. But no one can walk your path for you. At some point, every person must decide who they are going to become. Will you continue living according to old fears, or will you begin creating a new story? A story where growth is possible. A story where abundance is welcomed. A story where challenges are viewed as preparation rather than punishment. The future is not created in a single moment. It is created through the choices you make every day, every thought you nurture, every habit you repeat, every action you take, every belief you strengthen. These small moments seem insignificant when viewed individually, but over time, they become the architecture of your life. Imagine standing 1 year from now and looking back on this exact moment. What decision would your future self thank you for making today? Would they thank you for continuing to doubt yourself? Or would they thank you for finally believing in your potential? Would they thank you for staying trapped in fear? Or would they thank you for taking one courageous step forward? Your future is listening to the choices you make right now, and every choice is a vote for the person you are becoming. So choose growth, choose awareness, choose gratitude, choose courage, choose possibility. As this message comes to a close, I want you to take a slow, deep breath. Release the pressure to have everything figured out. Release the need for instant answers. Release the fear that you are running out of time. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. The path may not always be clear, but clarity often comes from movement. The opportunities may not always be obvious, but awareness helps you recognize them. The results may not arrive overnight, but every meaningful transformation starts beneath the surface before it becomes visible. And so, together, let's repeat these words one final time. I'm open to abundance. I am open to growth. I am open to opportunity. Trust my journey. I trust my potential. Trust the lessons that are shaping me. I choose courage over fear. I choose gratitude over scarcity. I choose possibility over limitation. I'm becoming the person capable of creating an abundant life. Carry those words with you. Return to them whenever doubt appears. Return to them whenever fear grows loud. Return to them whenever you need a reminder of who you truly are. Because abundance is not something reserved for a fortunate few. It begins the moment you recognize your own value, trust your growth, and remain open to the opportunities life places before you. The universe may be trying to guide you toward a richer, wiser, and more fulfilling life. Listen carefully. Stay aware. Stay grateful. Stay open. And never underestimate what can happen when belief, action, and wisdom move together in the same direction.